Okay. So Visioner 4.0 has AVS in it and a few more quirks that were not on 3.1.5, such as now action dialogues will filter out dead and defeated combatants and tokens. So if you have like any dead tokens or whatever, then they won't appear in the dialogue, which makes it a little bit more compact and easy. We're going to start, I'm going to share my screen here with a few examples that I've had till, and then there's also a new settings structure. Well, first of all, let me say that thank you for like JM, Roll, and Jordan. It's helped me like vision how this thing comes up, because it was a lot of effort and a lot of nights and days that we are like having brainstorming and all that kind of thing, and they really dedicated themselves to this project as well as me. So thank you guys for doing this and being part of this. So the main thing you'll notice is the settings and the new wiki page that we have. We should probably cover any question you have, but yeah, you have me for questions as well. So the settings have a new structure and should be more streamlined and clear what does what, and like separation of everything is probably the most prominent thing you'll notice. AVS settings, my big kahuna. So AVS settings has a couple of settings. You have the enable main thingy that if you still want to do working with Visioner manually, you can turn that off and you can still work with Visioner manually. You have the AVS changes indicator size, which we'll show in a sec. You have the debug mode, which should not be turned on unless explicitly requested. And you have disable line of sight calculations. For people that has issues with some false positives happening or performance issues, this will block all the wall interaction that Visioner has when AVS is turned on.
Hey, Roy.
Yeah.
What it does is it trades off precision for some additional abilities. So
Yeah.
with it disabled, you get more precise darkness regions, but with it enabled, you get some of the tremor sense and some of the other features that you built in. So that's the trade-off.
Yeah, that's a trade-off. Also, if you don't know, I'm Israeli, so I might have an accent. If I'm not clear enough, let me know and try to explain better. So that's inside the Visioner settings. Outside, we have the general settings that also players can deal with, which are like the tooltip size and colorblind mode and all those. And the main debug mode, which should also not be turned on unless explicitly asked for. Okay, so questions can go in the thread. I'll go over questions at the end of the presentation. So after turning on AVS, things will be interesting. Let's start with lighting. I got a couple scenes here with examples of how things work with AVS on. So we got a token that is with dark vision. We got a darkness spell with rank 4+. How I know that is by going into templates. I can see the template is here and it's moving the light as well. So the light is connected to the template. Well, maybe just easier to just do it like that. So Ezram has this dark vision. Oh, darkness spell, sorry. Rank 4. I'm going to cast it and put my thingy here. You'll notice. I hope you didn't hear this explosion from Gaza. So the darkness spell is put in the light, and the light source automatically knows the derived rank of the spell. So it will tell you here the derived rank, and AVS will kick in. Each token that doesn't have dark vision at all will see through in as hidden, and each token that has dark vision will see concealed per the rules. Okay, so this guy has dark vision, this guy has dark vision, This guy has dark vision, and they all see concealed. If I move Ezrin to the other side of the darkness, we'll see that this guy now sees him as observed because he moved next to him. If we put Ezrin inside, then we can see that Ezrin sees him as concealed and Kyra sees him as hidden because they're inside the darkness. For rank 3, concealed turns into observed. So you can see that Kyra is the only one without dark vision. And let's put this guy on the other side. And now it's hidden. Okay. If I put greater dark vision on this guy, for example, then you'll notice that he's now seeing things as observed. Remember that hover tooltips show how other things see you and not how you see things. So that's a thing. It also works with darkened region. So my guy is here. I need to remove the dark vision for a sec. So you can see that my guy is in darkness. These guys have dark vision. Kyra sees my ogre as hidden. If I add dim light, which is an only dim light on that, no bright light, you can see that these guys can see him as observed because they have dark vision. These guys don't have anything and they see him as concealed. It also works without the darkness spell, just putting a light and turning on the checkbox. So now it's considered as rank 1 to 3. And if I want to make it a rank 4, I can just tick this checkbox, sorry, and now it's rank 4. And it's just light, no template. Darkness light. So we got the same thing here. It's a darkness scene. And I got a question from someone. The answer is if you deal with lighting of the scene and you do darkness level 0.5, it will not make the scene as dim light. Only darkness fully with dim light source will make it appear as dim light. So we got Ezrin in darkness, which sees Kyra and I think that's Valros regularly. You can see that he has no indicator. And we have Valros in dim light, Kyra sees him as concealed. And we have Kyra in darkness, Valros sees him as concealed. And this guy is in with dark vision in bright light, and they both see him as observed. It also works with token lights. So I have Sione here. If I drop a torch, you can see that they're all be seeing as hidden from guys that don't have dark vision. Remember, these two have dark vision. So Sione has no dark vision, sees as hidden, and once she turns on her torch, she can now see it as observed, and this guy is in dim light, and she can see him as concealed. And this guy is still in darkness. She sees him as hidden. Also works with, oh, I showed you the, so this is the torch. This is the reason you're not using the same token on the same scene. Anyway, light effect, same thing. Yeah, so now it works the same way. You can see that even the light effect is causing everything to be correct. Yeah, that's it. Also works with lightened region, same as darkened region. You can just set a region with the darkness level behavior to 0 and it makes a lightened region. See that they're seeing him as hidden, but this guy is observed. And Ezrin has dark vision, so they see him as he sees him as observed as well. All right, let's move to conditions and senses now. So Visioner automates a couple of conditions and a couple of senses automatically in order to have a complete experience. So let's start with blinded. When you turn blinded on a creature, it will make all other creatures hidden to him. So he sees everyone else as hidden. You can see that Ezran, Ogre sees Ezran as hidden. The reason he's seeing it as undetected is because I put in something there too. I'll show you later. Dazzled. Same thing, dazzled. So you can see that the Ogre now sees Amiri as concealed. Dazzled, observed. Invisible, same thing. You can see that if I remove invisible, they can both see him perfectly fine. I turn visible on, they can't see him. And if I hover over him, I can see that they see him as undetected. I'll use this chance to show you the see the unseen integration that it has. So if I put see the unseen on Amiri, she can now see him as concealed. And Ezran sees him as undetected. Yeah. Echolocation and deafened. So I got Marishiel here with dark vision, but she has echolocation. Usually she doesn't see anything when you hover over her, over the ogre. We see that she sees him as undetected. When I add echolocation, you can see that because echolocation is precise 40 and not imprecise, she sees him as observed. So even though Foundry shows you that this is like with Heatwave, Visioner states will be rules correct, because there's a limit to how you can deal with changing how tokens appear in the UI itself. Maybe Rule would like to elaborate more, but the Visioner states should be correct, even for the darkness thing that you saw. So if I select the, not this one, this one. If I select the Ogre and remove his dark vision, you can see that he is actually seeing these guys as hidden Foundry-wise, but the states for Visioner are rules correct. So that's a limitation we could not tackle like with ease, let's say.
Yeah, the only thing I can add there is, yeah, this is coming straight from Foundry Core
Yeah.
and PF2E systems. So you have to rewrite a whole bunch of stuff to change that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so here's LifeSense example. So what you'll notice is one is LifeSense is imprecise, and another thing is that Amiri here is not blinded or deafened, yet she uses her LifeSense to know that this creature is there. I've implemented like on the last minute right before release precedence that checks all senses and just uses the one that it can use. So yeah, so how you handle this custom UI thing for LifeSense is practically it will use the display name setting to show or not show the name. So if I do never displayed, you can see that the name is not displayed. So it will use that name and the name of the token. So I think I have a probably need to switch my share screen to you see the flare side here. Give me a sec. How do I switch it up? Change stream. It's the entire screen. You guys see my screen now? Yeah, you know, someone?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So this is Flare side, this is GM side, okay? So GM side, you can see that it works correctly. I want to show you that the Flare side also works correctly. So I've put in the LifeSense indicator above Fog of War. So there used to be a bug when you had like this indicator not show up in Fog of War. So now it uses the fog of 4 like layer and puts it above it by using the canvas controls, technical stuff. So yeah, how do you interact with it is right click to target. You can also shift right click to multi-target. Let me just put in another guy here. So shift right click, multi-target, click removes target. The color of the indicator will change to the disposition. So if I put, let's put a party member here. Let's take Mauricio. Put it here. So you can see that if I target this guy, it's green. Those are red. And then when I attack, it would show them all here. Not sure why that is not showing in tool belt. Probably need to ask idle why it's not showing the damage button here, but guess it's interaction that needs to be checked. But you can take damage regularly, whatever. So that's life sense. When we got tremor sense and flying. So Melvin has his tremor sense right here. And we got the will-o-wisp flying. So he can, even though there is a wall here that blocks sound inside, the regular Foundry knows that this is tremor sense and to indicate it. And we can hover over this guy and see that. Oh, I didn't show you life sense states. I'll show it in a sec. We can see that because it's tremor sense and it's imprecise, when you hover over this guy, Melvin sees the wisp as hidden. What happens when I move the wisp to fly? Melvin doesn't see her anymore because it's flying and undetected because it's tremor sense and it's using that. Let's show you the life sense thing. So you can see that life sense is imprecise, 10 feet, and we can see that Amiri sees educate as hidden. So because it's imprecise, it shows it as hidden, and it's only showing that for the range. Because after the range, it should not work. So see, undetected, hidden, undetected, hidden. Okay. Those are the senses and conditions in direction. Now let's move to the actions and some feats examples. So let's start with, I guess, Ceaseless Shadows. So Ceaseless Shadows has two interactions, one with cover, and the other one is with hide and sneak. So let's make Educate attack this guy with, supposed to be that's lesser cover because Miraciel is a medium creature. So if I attack Velros, we can see that there's a new indication now for cover upgrade, and it says Ceaseless Shadows, lesser cover turned into standard cover. If I do the other way around and I attack with Velros, we can see that the guy only got lesser cover because he doesn't have any feet. So that's the first interaction there. And the second interaction is when hiding. We can see that Ceaseless Shadow is active. And the new thing for hide and sneak is the prerequisite. You have a prerequisite that you need to follow in order for the hide to succeed. And also for sneak, you have to start in end position. We'll show it in a sec. So you can tell that if I remove Ceaseless Shadows for a sec, I'll remove the Distracting Shadows as well, and then I open up the hide results again, we can see that prerequisites are not met because it is not concealed or has cover. But when I add the Ceaseless Shadows, I had those as qualifying. The other new thing here is the old visibility and new visibility states. We can see that old visibility was calculated from AVS. You can hover over this little tag to know that. And whenever you have a manual change, you just won't have that little tag here. So that's one thing. And the second thing is the new AVS button in the visibility change. So whenever you want AVS to kick in instead of your manual changes that you want to override, you pick AVS and just apply, and AVS will do its thing. So that's Ceaseless Shadows. Let's show Sneak Adept. It should
Hey, Roy.
fail. Yeah.
The advantage of that is that then you can have somebody concealed because of dim light. You can override it to, hidden because of an action. And then when you say, well, I'm done hiding, it doesn't go straight to observed. It can actually default back to that AVS lighting. That's what's
Definitely.
really super cool about it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Sneak has few, it's like the most complex. Can you guys mute, please? Mute yourself. Who is that? Ryan, can you please mute yourself? Ryan? Thanks. Okay. So, Snake is probably the most complex action that we have implemented throughout a lot of thinking from like Jordan had a few more ideas and I had a few more ideas and combined everything to one cohesive experience. So first of all, I'll show you player side and I'll show you GM side. So GM side is you'll get start sneak and you have your max sneak distance indication there that will show you based on if you have a feed or something that increases that, it will be automatically updated. Then when you start sneak, you'll see a few more things. One, your token will disappear completely from the table. Two, you will have an indicator that you're sneaking. And three, the buttons will change to open the sneak results and apply changes. Once you've stopped sneaking, let's say this guy moved here, and you press open sneak results, AVS will calculate the changes that you have moved into and you started with, and will know if the end position and start position qualified for the sneak. So let's say which advocate is this guy. So this guy is the last advocate. So it failed because it was not started as hidden or undetected, and it failed because it is not concealed or have cover when he adds the thingy here. So in order to show you the adapt, I will just do a sneak again and fail. So let's make it a 6. Yeah, okay. So here's sneak adapt. So you have the indication up there that the feed is up in use, and you have an indication right here. So failure is ticked off, and it's now a success because advocate is undetected, and I failed. I see that there's a small bug that you need to press the button in order to get the action to apply. I'll fix that later. But yeah, another new thing you'll see in the dialog is the max sneak distance again, and you'll see the way the sneak was used by moving. Like, so this is now in travel. If I do this stride and open it again, you see that it's changed, and it's using the right speed that you have for that thingy. Yeah, so I'll show you in a sec the interaction there. Seek senses. So senses for seek dialog has a few more quirks in it now. Yeah, so we have available senses. Based on the situation, Visioner will decide which sense was used to detect all the creatures. Now it's all the creatures. It was really hard to implement each creature sense by sense. So GM information only just to know that, okay, so this guy's probably using hearing because something is blocking his view. So yeah, you see that because this guy is now considered as undetected, when you do a seek, since you don't see him, you use your hearing. Since you use your hearing and it's imprecise, so my success and my critical success will go from undetected to hidden. Oh, it's a failure. That's why it's not working. Let me do a success one real quick. There we go. You can see that it turns Still failure? What? Educate. Let's make it a 20. There we go. So undetected goes into, and critical success goes into hidden because the imprecise sense was used, and you have the indicator that it was used. I'll also talk about the AVS performance part. So AVS, because we didn't want it to be hard on performance, and I'll show you in a sec how it works in a real scenario when your token moves. You have a viewport filtering. What does it mean? It means that whatever you see on your screen on token movement, that is what will be calculated. So if I make a zoom out with the GM and move this guy, in the background, it knows to check all other tokens around. So if I zoom in and I also only see these three, so AVS will know to only calculate the changes that needed for these three. And it's also appearing in the action dialogues now, so you can filter by viewport and not filter by viewport. Another edit is the filter for show only changes. So you can only filter out if you have a need for the changes only. Another thing is, I'm not sure if it was in 3.15 or not, but you have hide 100 hidden tokens. So if I do, let's have a guy here with, let's put apothecary, make it foundry hidden, and open this again. So we have a new indicator for foundry hidden. So we know that this guy is foundry hidden. I can just use hide foundry hidden, and it will not show these guys. That's another cool thing we added to the dialogues. Let's show some more feat interactions. So sense the unseen is a cool one. I think we need to fail this guy, so let's make it a 5. Yeah, okay. So a new thing in seek dialogue is the reactions. Probably more reactions will be added when asked for, but this is the one that I found useful. So sense the unseen as even though you failed the triggering check, you automatically sense any undetected creatures. So I have this guy, educate. Oh, it's critical failure. So it's easier to show. When I press sense the unseen, so this educate now is hidden, even though it's critical fail and it's undetected, it becomes hidden. And the reason is because I activated the reaction. So if your player says, I want to activate my reaction, just click the button, it will do it for you. Very sneaky. Very sneaky is a cool one as well. It interacts with sneak. So if I roll sneak, we can see that the max distance is 15 and not 10 because very sneaky is inactive. And if I start sneak, and for this one I have to do combat to show you the cool thing. So give me a sec here. So this is one of the trickier implementations that we've had. So now if I open the sneak results, we can see I need to start position 6. Oh, okay, I'll do it because sneak because it's a combat. So sneak results. Oh, great. What's the bug here? Yay, bugs. Not sure why it's not deferrable. Anyway, there's supposed to be a defer button here. Why is it not deferrable? Sneaky feat only if it's a successful sneak with failing in position. Oh, it's a failure. You see, when things work, they just work. It's not supposed to work, but it works. You think it's a bug, it's not a bug. It happens so many times when testing things. Things work just the way they are. But there we go. Because it was a failure, it was not showing the button, you see. So yeah. So now very sneaky allows you to defer and position checks for end turn or whenever you decide to. So what does it mean? It means that I can decide that this check will be deferred. So I press this button, and I can apply the rest of the things. If I had here more rows, I can just apply them. and I'm going to close. And then I'm gonna make another sneak. So I got a 16 or 15 there. Start sneak, whatever. I put here, open sneak results. So Visioner knows that this guy was deferred lastly in the last sneak. So you have the deferred one, you have undefer, and you can undefer all, you can not undefer. And then what happens is if you want to, I see that there's a bug here, but I'll show you how to use that. So if you want to use this as the last sneak, you have a button here. Let me just, there it is. End turn validation. So the end turn validation will be considered as your last sneak. But let's say you didn't want to do this and you wanted the end turn one. So Sione's turn is ending. If I move her turn next, you get this new pop-up for end of turn validation. And this will show all the deferred sneak rows that you didn't apply changes to and you deferred. I hope you didn't hear this explosion as well. So yeah, so we will be able to acknowledge results and make your changes in the end turn validation. It's another cool interaction we have added. It only happens with sneaky and very sneaky. So that's that.
Roy, if I can jump in for just a second.
Yes, for sure.
Just for anyone who wasn't, because some of these are pretty self-evident, but for anyone who wasn't following, like for sneaky and very sneaky, the point of the feat is that you can make multiple sneaks in the row, and if you end your sneak in a position that wouldn't qualify, as long as you keep sneaking, and by the end of the turn, you've got the cover that you need or the concealment that you need, then it works. And so that deferment is to basically tell Visioner, don't check the end position yet. I'm not done with the sneak.
Yep.
But because it was a lot of interface, but without the context, it might not have been super, super clear. But
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thanks, Jordan.
Turn it back over to you, bud.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so got a few more things to show, and then we're pretty much done and move to questions. Okay, so hide and seek interaction. So Mauricio here is being seen as everyone as observed. Let's have her, oh, and they see her as observed as well. Now, what I want to do here is add the new AVS concealment region that will only deal with concealment, and it's for things that you probably need as mists and such. And now what happens is I'm gonna move into concealment. You can see now that you come here. Okay. You can see now they see her as concealed. And now I can hide, not sneak, hide. Let's make it 15. You can see that the prerequisite is accomplished because she's in concealed. And I'm gonna apply all. You'll notice a few things. This little thing here that we'll show you in a sec. And that she is now supposed to be hidden. Why is she not hidden? And I hope you didn't hear this explosion as well. Why is she not hidden? I'm gonna test that here for a sec. Oh, interesting. Probably the override of the region. I'll check that out. So yeah, let's say she is hidden. I'll make her hidden and then that. Bugs be damned. True. Okay. She's supposed to be hidden. Oh, it's probably the line of sight thingy rule that you said. Yeah, that's definitely the line of sight. Okay, so that's an interaction that rule said the reason we need to have the line of sight setting is for this. Because now it's basically the wall doing its thing. So these errors undetected. But it should still work. So let's start sneak. Let's get a 16 here. Start sneak, move her behind the corner, open sneak result. Yeah, so see, so it would still work because it's undetected, but definitely we want to check that out. So end position, because she's now behind cover, and we know that. So this is the bug that I was saying before. But we know that ABS has calculated it hidden before, and now it's undetected. And that's the direction there. So now let's show you the cool part of AVS interaction is the AVS validation manager. So all those dialogues and manual changes you're making are creating what we call AVS override, which is basically a set of rules that says, okay, AVS, this guy is now in my control, and I want this guy to be hidden. So you can see that Mauricio here is actually undetected by design from these three guys, because I set it as a manual override. What happens is we have this cool new interaction that you can move anywhere you want on the screen. And it will show you what AVS thinks needs changing according to the consequences and properties of the scene, of the situation, sorry. So we can see that Mauricio is in broad daylight, no cover, no concealment. So AVS says, okay, these guys were overridden to undetected, but look, I want to change it to observed because she's out in the open and, this is wrong. So the GM can decide if he wants to accept from this little button here, if you want to accept AVS changes, if he wants to reject them, and you can just left click to see this new little dialog that has like token Mauricio. Sorry, let me just drink some water. So token Mauricio has moved. AVS wants to make 3 changes. And if you hover over this, it says some more information, movement and lighting changes can invalidate previously set visibility overrides, etc., etc. So you can do it one by one. Like I can just say, okay, so this guy is fine, but I want this guy to remain like undetected. And I can just accept all as target. So let me just show you some interaction there with the right Mauricio. It's this one. It says hidden. So now you'll see that she has 4. So she has 1 on the ogre as observer, and 1 on 3, sorry, on the target, because she has 3 manual on these guys. Another thing is when you sneak, you will not see the changes as target override because she's sneaking. So we want to only show how there are changes according to her and not her according to them, if that makes sense. Rule, maybe you can explain that better in English.
Oh, sorry, my cat was distracting me.
So
what was the question again?
Explain the start sneak, the sneak and the validation interaction that we're not showing the target overrides when you're sneaking.
Oh yeah, because so sneak as the way it's written, it kind of does a little bit of time travel. It says, you're going to start moving, you roll at the end of your movement, and at the end of the movement, either you were hidden the entire path, or you were undetected the entire path, or you were observed the entire path. But you roll at the end, but the effects kind of roll backwards. So that's pretty hard to do. So we just go ahead and say we're just not going to display it at all. That way the game master can actually move his monsters around without the player seeing where the tokens are moving to. And then if they were actually unsuccessful, then they'll say, oh, okay, now I can see where they are. And the game master can explain a path if he needs to. But that's kind of where that weirdness comes from. It's not a happy little thing they did in the sneak rules, but this is how we get around it.
Yeah.
Right. And as far as like the validation manager goes, it's like if your token is invisible, let's say I'm the GM, I'm moving a goblin along a doorway, my token is invisible to all the players. If I'm moving past the doorway, because we're still resolving the sneak, that validator is not going to pop up for how they see me.
Mm-hmm.
However, because I'm sneaking past a doorway and I can peek in as I go by, that validator might pop up for how I see them.
Exactly.
So if something was hidden from me before and I'm sneaking past the doorway, that hidden token isn't going to get an upgrade on how they observe me, but the validator is smart enough to know, okay, you're sneaking past the doorway, you got to peek inside. I'm going to recommend upgrading that hidden token on the other side of the doorway to
So this is the
observe it or whatever.
example. So I've started sneaking. I know that I'm sneaking. So you see that the validator is only showing the observer overrides and not the target ones. And now I can open this, close it, and now the validator shows everything again. So let's move her into here for a sec, because I want to show you that it also shows the cover situation. So she didn't have cover from Apprentice, which is here, but now she does, and AVS knows that she does. So it will only let you know that this is a change. You don't have to accept it, but if you want to, you can. And this area here is darkness. So it moves from undetected into hidden. Do you want to accept it? Let's say I want to accept it. So it's right click on this thing. Not sure why we see that again. Oh, probably because it's the same token at the top. Yeah, the issue with using two tokens at the same places on the same scene. Never mind. Okay, so accept it. So now AVS will just do its thing, kick in. So we can move her around. Now she's observed. We can move her back to darkness. Now she's hidden. This guy got dark vision, so you know. So yeah. Oh, I did want to show the player interaction. So let me just go into here again. I'll use this run. Why not? So you see on the right side of the chat that player sneak looks a little bit different. So first of all, players will have to start sneaking before. Oh, that's just great. GM, it should stop it from moving. I don't know why. It's another bug. I'll take a look. But basically, they should not be able to move because I'm GM. No, not a GM. They won't be able to move until they start sneak, and they press start sneak there. I'll fix that. Then let's see. Ezran has legendary sneak. That's why we're seeing the max distance sneak here as 25 feet. You can also see it's in the tooltip there. So when I start sneaking as a player, I'll just press start sneak and then I'll move wherever I want. And then it says, let the GM know when your sneaking movement is complete. And if I go to the GM, I'll see that the player sneak now has my sneak results button. And there's a bug there. Okay, I'm gonna fix the bug. Bugs happen, dudes. It's happening. Yes, bugs do happen. Great. Okay, anyway, this will be fixed. The sneak results will open it. I'll try to push it in a few minutes. Yeah, I think that's that. Did I miss anything? Oh, I wanted to show you the real life scenario performance. So tooltips has been improved to have more performance and to remove themselves when canvas is panning. So you won't see the tooltips when you move the canvas. Let's say I move Kyra here and then back. You can see that FPS is pretty much the same as it is with the regular Foundry. And the hidden states are changing quite fast. There's a little jitter when you have a lot of things going on, like if I turn on this torch, see the slight drop because I'm also OBS recording, it might be that, but you see the slightly dropping the for a split second there, but it shouldn't matter for actual play. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me see if there are any questions. Okay. Oh boy. Let me scroll. 640. Where is that starting? question.
Most ones in chat, I think that Rule and I were answering a little bit, but
Oh,
now
so
that you're finishing up, like maybe people
yeah,
have
does
more
anyone have any
questions.
questions they want to ask? Because if you also answered, then feel free to just ask here. Just unmute yourself and I'll answer. Can I stop my streaming or do you guys need it anymore?
Oh, can I ask you to demo something actually?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
What do you want?
I think might be helpful to show off how if you are at like a certain level of observation or like a vision level, like hidden or something,
Mhm.
and then you have attack consequences, that now the default goes to like the AVS state.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's make where do I have a hidden guy here? No, this is one. Why is it not? Oh, it's the other way around probably. Is this Kyra? Can't remember the side that it needs to be. I'll just make them both hidden. Alright, let's see now. Okay, so what do you want to see? The one that the AVS one?
Right. So how like the default recommendation now, instead of
Yeah, so
being
now instead of
voiceover.
going into no recommendation for the consequences, it will just select the AVS one and
Right.
apply that correctly. So now we see that AVS kicked in and Ogre is now seeing as observed because move it out.
And the thing I like about that is the fact that that sort of bypasses, not that the validator is bad, right? That little hovering button that you were just demoing. It's obviously like a smart way to handle situations where you move a token and there's just no other way to do it. But
Yeah,
I think that it's important to kind of get across that like sometimes the natural consequence of actions, whether it's a crit fail or an attack consequence or something, will kind of flip you back over into AVS taking over, and then you don't even have to go through the validator.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I encourage you to go over the wiki. Is the detection of improved sneak results outcome based on standard rule elements?
No,
I'm not sure about that actually. Can you explain more what do you mean? Desu?
I think they're asking if it's rule elements that are baked into the PF2E system that
Sure. Kyle,
um,
yes.
right.
So I don't think that Sneak is currently handling rule elements. It's more like its own thing. Sneak outcome. We could probably implement something when you start working on the rule elements part. Could like do that. I don't think that like rule elements currently are supported because it's only the baked feats that we are supporting inline and not something that
Right.
is
Yeah, that's what I think
systematically.
the question is. So
Yeah,
I think they're asking if it's hard coded or not, and it's hard coded
it's
into the
hard-coded.
module,
Yes,
the
to the
like
module.
the feats and features and stuff. But
Yes.
many of those changes, I think Roy is probably planning eventually on implementing in custom rule elements. So if
Yeah,
you
when
want to
custom
home
rule
brew,
elements will be implemented next
right?
for 5.0, we'll probably do a lot of refactoring there to accommodate.
I hope I
I mean,
understood that question.
it does accommodate anything that would show up that would actually affect the plus on the roll itself.
Yeah,
Those tend to just show up in the roll, so those are kind of handled out of the box.
yes. Also notice that you will have to manually do the cover bonus because I can't accommodate for like all the movement of the token, like think about cover in all grid and grid square. So you have to manually add the cover bonus now.
At least for Snake.
At least for
Okay.
Sneak, yeah. height is still doing its thing correctly. Kyle, you want to ask it? You can just unmute yourself and speak if it's easier.
Yeah, might make it a little easier.
Yeah.
So how does AVS handle things? Because obviously these were questions I asked a month ago, whatnot, and they worked on things like loot actors and hidden walls. How does AVS interact with those?
It doesn't. It's
So,
because
so
it's because the manual thing is needed for loot and hazards, because it's not a relationship of viewing each other. So we left it
okay,
like on gen discretion and just apply the manual state regularly. And you also notice now that it shows correctly for, if I open up the, let me put in a load token for a sec. So Visioner Manager will now show up correctly all the states for loot, only hidden and observed. You will not see AVS here. And also, I have added to Visioner Manager, by the way. Let me just show you something here that I need to show, is that it now shows AVS controlled. Good question, because there's me something I did not think of. Yeah, so now Visioner Manager will also have AVS for tokens, and it will know when AVS is in what state the token is in. So let me just make, let's move this Ezran here. So you see now it's undetected. If I move it out to here, Ezran is now observed, so it changes real time. So yeah, and now tokens on the observer mode will see that there's a different table for hazards as well, and it's not part of NPCs anymore. And hazards and loot only show hidden and observed, and no AVS. So that's the thing here, and it will, if you have a change that was not applied, the green buttons will now do some animation to tell you that you didn't apply and you need to apply them. Thanks for the question. Got a follow-on question? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same for hidden walls, yes.
Right. AVS wouldn't interact with those because it's considered manual when you do like a seek action.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's like super clear, but that is like
Yeah,
a
definitely.
manual action.
I'll add a wall and show you. So let's make the wall hidden and just apply that and open up Kyra again, observer, go down to the bottom and you still see the hidden walls. And of course it only has hidden and observed as well. Let's make it observed. And yeah, you can see that hidden wall is here. Also, not sure if it was in 3.5 or not. The wall manager has come into different changes. So you have filtering for the wall manager. And you can also change the properties of how much cover it gives and if it's hidden or not with the buttons here. And same for tokens. Not sure if it was shown previously, but you can say like if this is a blocker, what type of cover he will have when he blocks an attack. You also have the EVS in the quick edit mode, quick AVS dialog here. Oh, lights. I didn't show that, but this is a cool thing. Lights have also a button here that you can change a light quickly for darkness source or heightened darkness. You can also do it multiple, so I can pick those two and make them regular darkness. Now you can see that it's, I need to put in the thing, so let me just see. It's treated as heightened, and now I can pick them up again, make them heightened, and it's turned on back here and here. So yeah, that's a cool thing with darkness. Yeah, I think that's it. You guys, any more questions? Yeah, sure. Let's see. Not sure if you can demo that. Oh, I just did. Oh, you want to see it in Seek as well? I can put it in Seek as well. Let's make the wall hidden. Observer and hidden. By the way, Seek will only show walls that are hidden in the line of sight. That's by design now, so it will be a lot easier on your eyes when viewing a scene with hidden walls. See, success turns into observed. I'll apply it. Oh, it took a while, but it is applied now. I'm not sure why it's not appearing. See, bugs happen. Bugs do happen. Yeah. It's a big module. It's probably the reason why. Well, let's make it here. So yeah, hidden walls. Working. Yeah, so Riku, go ahead and ask your question. You can also unmute yourself. It's easier because I don't see a lot of questions here.
Yeah. So I had quickly made the discovery of the quick edit feature, which, by the way, great, because I'm a manual tracker, so I like to do manual tracking, and this module helps a lot for that because it speeds things up. The one thing that I've noticed about it is that you do have to target the tokens in order to apply the changes for the selected token.
Correct.
Is there any way that there could be a default behavior where it will apply to all tokens if no token is targeted, apart from itself, of course?
Did you notice those buttons here?
Which buttons here? Sorry, I did not see those buttons.
These ones.
Oh, I did not target those. I did not see those.
Right. So
Okay,
those
thank
buttons
you.
like can target all enemies and all parties and select all enemies or all parties.
Oh, that is just perfect. I did not. I saw the selected ones, but for some reason my brain did not see the target ones. So
It's all good. That's why it's there.
All right. Thank you very much.
No problem. Any more questions, guys? You can unmute yourself and just ask the question if it's there. Okay, so cool. So yeah, you have the wiki. I'll probably work on bug fixing in the next versions, see that everything works as expected and no bugs there. Jordan, did you write those bugs? Because I was I was not.
I took a few notes. Yeah,
Okay,
I
cool.
took a few notes.
Sweet.
I don't know that I got all of them though. So
my brain works. It's like 7 a.m. now. Okay, so
now that it's published, you'll hear about them.
oh yeah, definitely.
I know the one on tokens not locking on sneak because that was
yeah, that was yeah, and it is recorded. Yeah, good point.
it's recorded.
Good
Thanks
point.
for
Good point.
pointing that out, Cal.
Yeah, so next versions will probably be some bug fixes and feature requests, and then we will start thinking about rule element development. If feats requested are probably going to be before that because it's part of ABS, and I put ABS currently at the top. So probably that for a few versions, and I might have like a few days off because it was a crazy development. Yeah, so that's about it. If you guys have any more questions, you can always ask in the thread or DM me or whatever. Again, thank you for all the alpha testers that are not really here, but they really helped find those bugs. And Jordan and Rule are my mates. Couldn't have done this without you guys, so thank you.
Heck yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoy that, and I'll see you guys.
Sweet deal.
Sweet deal, man. Bye-bye.